Welcome back to the Surrey Watch Guy, everyone. I'm Dan, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison video between the Omega Planet Ocean Liquidmetal Limited Edition and the current generation Planet Ocean. Once again, a big thanks to Tony for lending me this watch. Really appreciate it, mate. Thanks so much. My Planet Ocean dates back to 2011, whilst the blue current edition was released at Baselworld in 2016. Let's dive into some of the details. The case shape for the Liquidmetal Limited Edition is 42mm, 14.2mm thick, with a lug-to-lug distance of 48mm, and the lug width is 20mm. The current generation Planet Ocean 8900 has a 43.5mm stainless steel case, 16.5mm thickness, with a 52.5mm measurement lug to lug and a 21mm lug width. Both watches feature a screw down crown and the helium escape valve at 10 o'clock. However, when looking at them close up, you can see that on the left, the current generation, the helium valve and the crown are much bigger. Certainly easier to operate, but maybe a little bit obtrusive. Both watches have the 6-9-12 numeral dial layout with a date window at the 3 o'clock. The applied numerals on the Liquidmetal Limited Edition are the open font design from the 1960s. You can see that on the 6 and the 9. It doesn't actually meet. Whilst on the current generation, it's much more angular, almost squarer, and you can see that the 6 and 9 numerals actually do touch. The applied hour markers on both dials make for great legibility. The Liquidmetal Limited Edition, the markers are ever so slightly thicker, and at the 12, 6, 9 and 3, you'll see that they're actually triangular shaped, whereas on the current edition at 12, 6, 9 and 3, it's actually square shaped. Both watches feature a ceramic dial made out of ZR02. They're incredibly glossy and they change a huge amount of shade and colour depending on the light source. Really nice. Both Planet Oceans feature the broad arrow handset. On the left, on the current generation, they're much bolder and thicker and they really stand out, whereas if you look at the ones on the right, they're slender and a little bit more elegant. The seconds hand on both is a spear shaped. Now if you look at the one on the right, the counterweight is like a spear shaped and pretty short. On the left, on the current generation, it's slightly longer and there isn't that spear shape. The dial text on both watches is quite similar. At the top it says Omega Seamaster Professional on both. On the current edition it's written in orange, and on the Liquidmetal it's a dark red. Above the 6 o'clock numeral on both watches, the dial makes reference to the 600 meter water resistance. On the right you can see that it's written in white, and on the current generation it's written in orange. This ties in very nicely with the over-engineered dive watch aesthetic, which Omega was clearly going for with the Planet Ocean line. However, still got a really long way to go when it comes to comparing to the likes of the Omega Ploprof or the Rolex Deep Sea Dweller. Both watches feature 120 click coin-edged unidirectional bezels. Look at the teeth on those beauties. The current generation on the left, the teeth are a little bit thicker, but the operation, very satisfying click. Really good. And on the Liquidmetal, slightly different sound, but it turns really well. The bezels are formed of ceramic and they have a Liquidmetal diving scale. And if I bring them up close, the metal literally fuses into the ceramic. On the Liquidmetal limited edition, the bezel numerals are quite traditional looking and there's no flaring of the numbers. And there's a metal ring right around the inner part of the bezel. Now if you look at the current generation, the numerals are slightly more modern, and at the tips of the 2 and the 3 and the 4 there's just a slight change to the dial font. Now if you look at the bezel, you've got the 15-minute going here, and then you've got 1 second hashes going around the inner part of the bezel. That's a differentiation. The Superluminova on the Liquidmetal limited edition emits an all blue colour, whereas the current generation, it's all blue aside from the lume pip and the minute hand, which glow green. This allows for easier telling of the time. However, I prefer the all blue lume look as it's just more uniform. And the Liquidmetal limited edition has the Omega 2500C caliber, which is a self-winding chronometer with a coaxial escapement that beats 25,200 VPH with a 48-hour power reserve. The current generation Planet Ocean features the 8900 self-winding master chronometer movement that's META certified and is resistant to a magnetic field up to 15,000 Gauss. It features a silicon balance spring with 2 barrels mounted in series and comes with a 60-hour power reserve. The Liquidmetal limited edition features a solid case back with the Seamaster and Planet Ocean text with the Omega Hippocampus Sea Monster. It also makes reference to the world premiere of when they started using ceramic and liquid metal. On the current generation Planet Ocean, it features an exhibition sapphire caseback, which to be honest is really good because the 8900 movement is finished very, very well and it deserves to be seen. The bracelet on the Liquidmetal limited edition is my least favourite part of the watch. The end links jut out from the case, so although the lug to lug is 48mm, when measured end link to end link, it measures a whopping 54.2 millimeters. So having a 42mm case, it may as well be a 45, way too big. The current generation Planet Ocean has the newer designed end links. So although the case is 43.5 versus 42 of the Liquidmetal limited edition, because the end links hang straight down, the watch actually wears true to size. So it's wearing 48mm. So even though it's bigger, it wears better. Brilliant. When buying a watch, the lug to lug length is absolutely critical. Probably the most critical measurement when it comes to buying the watch, because it really does let you know how a watch is going to sit on your wrist. The bracelet clasp on the Liquidmetal limited edition is a folding twin trigger release clasp with a dive extension built in, but crucially it's missing micro adjustment. The current one is the same, twin trigger. However, if you look inside here, you see that there's the words push. Now if you push that down, you've got up to 9mm of micro adjustment on the fly, which when it's hot or cold and your wrist swells or shrinks, you can adjust it easily. Brilliant. Now, although Omega have made a lot of improvements with their bracelets, I still feel they're a long, long way behind Rolex in this particular aspect of watchmaking. In conclusion, they're both rock solid choices. The Liquidmetal limited edition is slightly thinner, but it does wear larger on a bracelet. It's got a much more elegant design due to the number font, slimmer hands and a smaller crown and helium escape valve. The 8900 is thicker, but it's got a much more modern design with a serious wrist presence, a better movement with an exhibition case back and wears better for its size. Which would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing if you'd like to get notifications on future videos. I'm also on Instagram, so give me a follow. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.